So, without further ado, I request Maharaj to deliver.
I thank Swami Prasannatmanda and Vedanta Society of Berkeley for kindly inviting me to give this talk this Sunday. The purpose of coming is to attend the annual meeting, which will be in the afternoon at 3 o'clock. And it is our custom to attend each other's annual meeting. And in that way, Prasannatmanda came to our center on Monday. Our Tattvamananda also came there on Monday. And yesterday I had the opportunity of attending the annual meeting of San Francisco Center along with Prasannatmanda, and today is the third center, which we are having the meeting in the afternoon. As you know, some of you might be knowing, though our Prasannatmanda said that devotees might be knowing me or I might be knowing the devotees before he had come, but it is not true actually. True in a sense that means devotees change. And few devotees might be known to me in today's congregation, but most of them I definitely do not know, but probably they also do not know me. Might have seen, but probably in that way, knowing is the what is called a word that he has used. That is normal because people come and people go, but the Sunday lectures go on forever. That is we can put it in that way. So that today's topic is Sri Ramakrishna and our future. Sri Ramakrishna was born in the middle of the 19th century, and he is considered by us an incarnation of God, and other people also know him to be a great spiritual personality, and some of them slowly understand that he is also a Yuga Avatar. That means avatar or incarnation of God of our age. Avatars are persons, spiritual persons who come time to time to revive religion, establish righteousness, and what is called subdue unrighteousness. In that way, they are coming. We have seen in the history of spiritual kingdom that time to time they come. Probably it is a necessity of the nature that they should come because with time religion declines. Other things may prosper, but religion declines. And in the name of religion, people do, or religious people who teach, they teach something which is not really fruitful. Fruitful means, that means they do not get the highest realization and they do not get the right type of living, the ways of living, all those things come. So in that way, Lord Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhuthanam adharmasya tadatmana sujama. That means whenever there is a decline of religion and there is what is called proliferation of unrighteousness, I take birth as a human being. And then I subdue the unrighteousness, establish religion, and that is a process that is continuing. And in that way, time to time, I have to come. So we see in the history of religion, especially when we see the history of Indian religion, we see that there is 10 avatars. They have come continuously. Some of them are not really human beings, but probably it was important. We can argue in this way that probably it was important to take the form of different beings also to establish or to maintain the what is called this continuation of this universe. So in that way we can argue, but definitely in the recent times, say since Rama, Krishna, and Swami Sri Ramakrishna, they have come in the form of human beings because probably that is the necessity of this age. So, in case of Sri Ramakrishna, we see that he came when the religion, especially in India, in the name of religion, uh, things that were being practiced, was not really satisfying to sincere spiritual personalities, spiritual seekers. So naturally, they needed a right path. And taking to the overall situation of the what is called world, there are also certain religion believed something which they wanted to impose on others, saying that this is the only true religion. So that was also another problem. So in that way, when Sri Ramakrishna came, we see that he practiced religion in his own way. That means his practice of religion, we do not see that in that way the previous avatars has done that, because it was necessity to do something which is relevant to the age. So he was born and became a priest in the Dakshineshwar Kali temple, some of you might be knowing, and then had the vision of God. That is the most important one, because by sincerity only, that means he had taken the formal initiation for, or knew the procedure of practicing religion definitely, and by practicing that system, actually sincerely practicing that, he had the vision of Mother Kali, who was his chosen ideal. Then actually we see that after having that what is called success in religion, he thought that, well, people are practicing religion in different ways, whether those practices or system of practices, you call it, they are also really true, whether they can bring the success the way I have the success in having the highest realization. So he became interested, and whenever he became interested, we see that he has always got a good guide to describe or to show in what way that path needs to be practiced. So in that way, we see that he practiced many branches of Hinduism. In Hinduism, there are different branches, as we know. That means Shaktas are there, Vaishnavas are there, Shaivas are there, Ramanuja, what is called the practitioners of Rama is there, Advaita is there. So in that way, different paths are there, and he had the opportunity of practicing all the paths that came to him, and he practiced them and found that yes, it is possible to have the highest creation by practicing all these paths that people are really following. Then after, actually we see that he became interested in other religions also. By that time, Islam, Christianity has come to India. Islam was for quite some time. That means Islam came probably in 8th, 9th century or something like that. And Ramakrishna was born in the 9th century, so about 1000 years it was there. Christianity also came there because of the British rule or the Europeans colonies that came to India. So in that way, Christianity was also there. And these two religions are really very much aggressive in a sense that they think that by following their own religion, that means their religion, actually one can have the highest realization of God, or go to the heaven in a simple term that people understand, they used to say. And those who do not follow those religions, actually they will go to hell. That means they will suffer eternally. So that was in that way they preached, and natural common people, they are not very serious to go into the depth of the religions. They followed them, and in that way they were being converted from Hinduism to different religions. So Sri Ramakrishna became interested in that also. And in that way, he practiced Islam, and also he practiced Christianity. And in that way, he found that yes, those two paths are also good from the point of view of realization of God, but the way they are being preached, that is not really necessary. And probably it is very, what is called, the way they are being taught are definitely very harmful. So in this way, another thing that he saw was that because of the great influence of Islam and Christianity. Many Hindus are trying to save their own religion, but the way they are trying to save is really a sort of taking the truths of the religion and then forming what is called a cult or creed, and in that way they left their Hindu religion and formed one religion which is not Islam or Christianity, but another type that they invented, we can say. So in that way, Brahmo Samaj and Prarthana Samaj, and there are 3 or 4 branches of offshoots of Hinduism came out during this time. And that was the situation in which Ramakrishna came. And because of his success in all the paths of religion, he was a competent person to say that yes, all paths lead to the same goal. That means if you follow your own path sincerely, the word sincere is very important. He said that yes, any path that are being practiced by different religion or different branches in one religion can lead to the success, that means self-realization. So he was satisfied with that, but when people started coming, actually it is said, it is a divine, what is called disposition, we can say, that he himself was not very much interested in, that means he was satisfied knowing this thing, and that was the, we can say, the end of his spiritual pursuit. But because people are suffering in the sense that they are in the name of religion, they are doing something which are not religion and harmful also. So he was very much upset in the sense that they are not really, he is not doing which actually will help them. So it is said that not of his own will that he started preaching or guiding people, but because he had some divine dispensation. He used to say that mother told me, or what is called, came and said that, well, people are suffering and you are just knowing these things, you are not really sharing your knowledge, spiritual knowledge with others. So it is not really good. Good means, that means people will continue to suffer. So why don't you help them by giving spiritual knowledge that you have got. So in that way we see that Sri Ramakrishna, towards the end of his life, he lived only 51 years. So towards the end of his life, maybe 10 years or something like that, he was really active in preaching, we can say. And in preaching, usually we think that giving lectures like us, that was very common. Educated persons, pandits, and very learned persons, or followers of different religions who have throughout their life they have practiced it and studied them. So their teaching was really telling people or gathering people and telling them this is the religion, and then some paraphernalias or some practices that they said that will be helpful. In that way they used to preach, and in that way they consider that they have come to their fold. But Sri Ramakrishna was not really that type of preacher. He was a preacher of religion in a sense that he was a preacher of realization of God. That means sincerity, practicing hard, and in what way actually that can be done. All those things he used to explain, and people used to follow, and in that way actually his preaching continued. And as we know that being a what is called human form, oh, this is magnetic. What is that? This fell down and some magnetic. Fell down something. Thank you. So, as a human being, because as you know that human beings cannot live more than 100 years nowadays. Actually more people are living longer, but still during the time of Sri Ramakrishna, average life people live probably 50 years, 60 years maximum. So when these incarnations come, we see that they bring with them some people who will continue to practice or preach the religion of the what is called the master. So in that way, with him actually he brought, we see afterwards that he gathered a group of young people like Swami Vivekananda, Narendranath at that time. Students, they were just 20, between 20 and 30. Most of them were like that and gathered and they become his followers. And he taught them. And not only taught them, the purpose of teaching was that they themselves should realize God and then continue the teaching of his system, we call it, or practice the religion, or teach the people how to reach God according to his teaching. So in that way, he gathered a group of young people. 16 of them were renunciates, that means monks, and some of them were householders also. That means about say 30, 40, or maybe 50 or 60% were householder disciples. That means he, what is, as we call in Hindu religion, that is, initiated them in the practice of religion, showed them, guided them, and in that way, in their lives actually, they become successful in spirituality, and then they themselves lived, and especially the monks, those who actually become renunciate. Sri Ramakrishna instructed this group of young people to form a organization. We call it monastery. That means monastic house. And in India, it is custom to renounce and become a monk, and then do spiritual practice, realize God, then preach. So in that way, actually, he formed this group under the leadership of Narendranath, as we see, and he formed that group, and they themselves become realized. Because of Sri Ramakrishna's teachings or probably his spiritual influence, it was very easy for them. Nowadays, actually, we follow the path, but it is very hard for us also to have the realization. But that doesn't matter. But for them, actually, they become stalwarts of spirituality, and they're competent enough to teach, and in that way, they continue that. In that way, tradition is continuously going on. But the important thing is that what Sri Ramakrishna has taught, that has been kept intact. That means the seed, as we call it, is really still the same. In that way, it is going on. It is a matter of practice by which actually we can get what Sri Ramakrishna has used to realize, and the method remains the same. So in that way, we see that Sri Ramakrishna himself left a legacy of spirituality for the future generation. And that is the subject of my talk. That means, what are the things that Sri Ramakrishna taught us, which will take us to the self-realization even after his passing away. And not only that, after his passing away, according to Swami Vivekananda, when avatars come, their influence remains maybe for 1,000 years or 1,500 years. Then again they decline. So it is a historical fact. That means all the religious incarnations of God came, they taught, and then actually in their name what they had taught becomes really degenerated. And then again they have to come. That is the cycles actually continue. So in that way, we see that he has left a future. He lived, as I told you, 50 or 51 years. Then Swami Vivekananda formed this institution, and then actually these direct disciples, they gave instructions that have been left by Sri Ramakrishna, and also his wife, that means Holy Mother Sarada Devi, she was also instructed to propagate. So in that way, this group, if you call it, they actually continued. And in that way, actually, things are proceeding, and we believe that it will continue. Now it is just 200 years that Sri Ramakrishna had come, and if we think that it is 1,000 years that his influence, real influence will remain, or 1,500 years, as Swami Vivekananda has said. So in that way, actually, that will be fruitful. That is the point, is that they will be fruitful. That means people by practicing, they will practicing the real religion that will give the success in their life, that will self-realization, liberation, we call it, all those things will come. So what actually Sri Ramakrishna had left for the humanity, for the self-realization or success in spiritual life. So his teachings were really very simple. As I told you at the beginning, that when he himself practiced, he was just a curious person. Curious person means that means he became a priest in the Kali temple of Dakshineshwar. And he thought that Mother Kali's image is here, and I am doing worship, offering flowers, offering food, and just uttering mantras and all those things, and treating her just like a human being, a great human being, and in that way I am just treating her. But whether Mother is really taking or accepting my puja, that means I give food, whether Mother is eating, or I chant mantras, whether Mother is listening. So all these bizarre questions came to his mind. Usually we do not, those things come, it doesn't come to our mind. We think that, well, it is a practice, it is a custom, convention, in religion it has been said, what is called, our tradition is like this. So in that way we do all those things, but we do not go in depth, that is the point. But Sri Ramakrishna also followed that, but he went into depth. That means he was, what is called, very anxious to know whether these things that we are doing, offering and all those things are being accepted. So naturally he became very sincere, and it is said in the scriptures, and he had learned from the, what is called, different persons, that in ancient times or during their past days, actually there were persons who actually had the vision of God. So naturally he knew how to do that. So he same practices actually he did with great intensity, sincerity. So in that way, actually, the thing that he did, everything that we do, but he added or supplemented, you call it, with great sincerity. And that is the one thing that he said, that, well, if you follow your own religion, your own path, or even if you just call God with great sincerity, success will come. That means you will have the self-creation, because he himself had received or got that self-creation only by sincerity. All those things are common, but sincerity is added thing or supplement, you can say it in that way he did. So that is a great teaching that we have. It is not that study of the scriptures only, or debating with the what is called different truths that has been explained by different what is called learned persons, discussing them or debating them, that will bring spiritual realization. That is not really true. He said that only thing that is necessary for self-realization is the sincerity. Whatever you are following, suppose you are taking the name of God, do that, take the name of God, but with great sincerity you do. So in that way, we can see that he has underlined. That means we are doing things, but these are the underlying things that I have tested. And not only tested, I have taught this, and they have also in their turn have practiced them. So in that way, they are what is called, they have confirmed the teachings that I have taught. And in that way, actually, those things are being left and given to humanity that we find, and we believe. And some of them we see that in their lives also, or by following their lives also, we see that they are also getting definitely great result. That means the result is coming. So nobody will work hard, what is called, without expectation of any result. Especially in spirituality, if somebody is very sincere, naturally the goal is to have the self-realization. Of course, in Bhagavad Gita, it has been said that you do karma without the expectation of the result, but at the beginning, actually, you must know that there should be some goal. We have to achieve that goal. And if you call that is the result that we are expecting, then result and what is called the achievement or the goal is the same. So at the beginning we have to do that, but we have to stress on the part, not on the goal, but on the part of the practice. That is the most important part. So I'd like to enumerate a few of the teachings that Sri Ramakrishna actually has taught and given to us for this age. So he has said that so he used to say, Mother, Mother, reveal yourself to me. That is the utmost sincerity he himself practiced and said. And then actually we see that it is not necessary to what is called to quit one's own religion. That means in whatever religion you are really born, if you practice that, that will be that is enough for the what is called success. And then, of course, in the name of religion, he has said that a touch means it is by practice he has found the truth of all religions. So he says that as many faiths, so many paths. That means people follow their religion according to their tradition, or according to the family tradition, or according to their national tradition. So in that, and also they can choose whatever they like also. In that way, different paths are there. So he said that one need not quarrel. That means after getting success, suppose I am a Vaishnava, so after having the vision of Krishna, I said that yes, Krishna is only true, other Mother Kali or Shiva is not true. So that is really what is called not, he said that is not really true. That means every path has got its success only through sincerity, and that is the bottom line. And to practice, actually, one needs to be very simple and what is called pure. Pure means, that means in life, one should practice certain disciplines. Purity comes by following some disciplines. And also simplicity in a sense, that means one should not be crooked. That means I am doing something which is really just for me, not for you, or I am doing something which is very secretive, and I shall not tell you, or I don't want to share these things. So in that way, sincerity is also very important. So those two things actually he said, and that brings purity of heart. We understand meditation nowadays because meditation is the control of the mind. And by sincerity, simplicity, and purity, actually, the mind becomes quiet. From the yogic point of view or yoga point of view, actually, mind becomes pure, but is become undisturbed. And it is said, whatever when the mind becomes undisturbed, you can have that serenity brings the vision of God. If you are trying to have the vision. Otherwise, also there are many other experiences that are there which will prove that you are in the right path of spirituality. So he said that God can be realized by pure heart. It is not a new teaching that he has said. Only thing he has stressed in our time that is the most important thing. Our heart is polluted or disturbed in a sense. That means to subsist in this world, naturally we have to do something. That means we have to take to job, or we have to have a family, or we have to take care of so many things. So those things are, for survival, those things are necessary. But if we can do those things with sincerity and also with the expectation of a result, that means, yes, these things are needed to be done. I am doing for the sake of the other people or for the sake of a society. So in that way, if we do, actually, what is called, mind will not be disturbed. We shall not have any, we shall not be affected by them. That is the thing. Because everybody is not really a spiritual seeker. So naturally they have different aims of their life. Somebody wants to have name, fame, or money. So those things are quite common, and it is desirable also for in general for the society. Those things are very important. Those achievements. Obhudaya, as it is called in a technical term of spirituality, that is important for a society to survive. But the point is, we need to do these things, but those who have spirituality or have sincerity or they feel to practice religion, for them actually, the way that those things have to be seen, that yes, you do all those things, but be sincere to a spiritual practice. So he's saying future of our spiritual life is longing for God. He actually established in a sense that some of us think that, well, if I become a Nobel laureate, or if I become the president of such and such country, or if I become such and such player, so that is the goal of life. But Sri Ramakrishna has said that they are good for what is called ordinary people, but if you have understood your life properly, then actually the best goal of the life is the realization of God. So naturally, we have to be thoughtful in a sense that life is very short. That means nowadays probably 80, 90 years people will live. And naturally up to 50 years actually have to struggle for survival. And then probably after retirement we have enough time to do spiritual practice. That is acceptable. In ancient times actually it was acceptable in this way that they had the 4 stages of life. That means young age when we actually studied and become fit for the society, and also fit for maintaining a life. So in that way, after that actually had a householder's life. And householder's life, it is said that as you are born, so naturally the other people are also have to other people also have to get the opportunity to survive, and if they are interested, practice religion in that way. Family life is also very important for maintenance of the civilization or society. And then actually there is a limit. That means when the children become really eligible to earn, then actually they say, now you retire. Retire means the pursuit of other things, other than religion that we are pursuing, you can really retire from that. So that was actually manaprastha as we call. Then actually it is said that now your necessity is really very minimum. So whatever you have, with that actually you devote your life completely for spiritual pursuit. In that way, by living a life an ordinary person, general life of an ordinary person, it is possible to have the highest realization of God. And that should be the goal of the society. So society will be maintained. Some people who are not really religious minded, spiritual minded, they also will be maintained. When they realize that goal of life is religion, they will follow that. But when you have realized, and if you are in such circumstances, follow those things, and when time comes actually, renounce, and then follow spirituality, what is called rest of your life, and that will be enough. So we see in the lives of direct disciples who are householders some reflection of these, what is called, these teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. And that is not, Sri Ramakrishna did not teach something unique, only he actually underlined or stressed these things are things that is important for this age. So in that way, actually, we see that many of them were very highly spiritual souls. Say, M means the Maharaj Gupta who wrote the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. So he himself was a householder. And not only householder, he was pestered with the household. That means his family life was not really very peaceful. He was not blessed with that. Some of the devotees, some of the direct disciples had a very good family life also. But unfortunately, he was not that. But he has to maintain his family. So naturally, he did all the things that were necessary for maintaining the family. And towards the end, when children grow up and they become self-sufficient or self-serving, then actually he retired. Retired in a sense that my whole life actually, towards the end, actually spent in talking Sri Ramakrishna, because he was his guru and he had the opportunity of living with him. So he knew a lot of things. So in that way, actually, he spent the rest of his life by writing the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, and also those who used to come, he used to share those knowledge with them. and in that way actually elected what is called ideal grihasthas life. I'm just giving one example. Probably when you go through the lives of other direct disciples who were householders, they also in their turn were like that. That means they have, towards the end of their lives, actually they're full of Sri Ramakrishna, that we see. So now, for general, what is the, as I told you, that some of the things which are very pertinent for our age, actually Sri Ramakrishna highlighted, and those things are really, we can say that is the requirement for the future. That means our future spiritual life will depend upon those spiritual instructions that Sri Ramakrishna has given. Sri Ramakrishna never gave that you have to, what is called, go into a cave and spend the rest of your life in doing meditation and all those things. That is good who can do, but those who cannot do, for them what is there? So in that way, certain things that are feasible, and if they are really practiced properly, that actually Sri Ramakrishna has left for us. One thing is very important for our age. He has said lust and gold. That means physical enjoyment, and also what is called acquisition of worldly things, money, property, or many other things are there that you can acquire in this life. If you have longing for those things, that will be what is called a barricade. That means that will be an obstruction for your spiritual life. So those two things are very important things that we have to give attention. And as Ramakrishna has said, that means to the extent it is necessary for survival, we should acquire. But we should not really, what is called, hanker for them. That means that is not the be all and end all for our life. That should not be there. That should not be the goal of our life. So several instructions are really very helpful, the way we are living now. The future of our daily life, that means remembering God in the midst of duties. We do not have the opportunity of going away, leaving the world and go into a forest or cave and do spiritual practice. So how to do spiritual? Remembering God in our day-to-day life is also a good practice that actually can bring spirituality. Then he has said the future of a relationship. That means seeing God in all. That is one of the very important spiritual instructions that Sri Ramakrishna has left. Sri Ramakrishna, when he was sick, he was in Kashipur, as you know, and before that he was in what is called in Shampukur. Shampukur, there was they have rented a house where Sri Ramakrishna's boyfriend became sick with cancer and throat, because doctors are available easily in Kolkata. So there, and one day actually he asked that, well, what Sri Chaitanya has taught to his followers. So it was very common. That means many of them were Vaishnavites also. They say that Name Ruchi. Name Ruchi means taking the name of God. And Jive Daya. Jive Daya means, that means be kind to all beings. And Jive Daya and what is called taking care of the devotees, followers. So that means be kind to them and also treat them well, because they are the preservers and practitioners of spirituality. So in that way, three things are highlighted by Sri Chaitanya. But Sri Ramakrishna actually pointed out that Jive Daya, that word actually he corrected in a sense, not Jive Daya, but Shiva Gana Jiva Seva. This is a very new turn of teaching of what is called practicing of what is called service. And at that time, we see that Swami Vivekananda was present there because he was taking care of Sri Ramakrishna, and he heard that and he said that, well, this is something that, a new thing that I have heard. So he said that, well, if God gives me an opportunity, I shall translate this into his words into what is called preach this, and not only that, I translate this into action. That means I shall make it a practice for the humanity. So in that way, he said that service to man is service to God. And this is actually we don't find in other religion, and not only in our religion. In Hinduism also, this has not been highlighted by other teachers. But it is important for this age, that is why Sri Ramakrishna said that human beings actually we hate them. That means if you are not following my religion, you are going to, what is called, you are going to hell. And in that way, we just denigrate them. That means we hate them. But he said that, well, no. Everybody has that spiritual potentiality. That is, God is living within yourself. So that respect has to be given to even to your enemy, or even to your who actually treat you badly. That you have to keep in mind. So that is the most important. That in every person, every creature actually God is living. It is nothing new. In our scriptures and in our teachings of the predecessors, we find that true. But people actually do not understand, and in that way they hate each other. That is why Sri Ramakrishna said that seeing God in all, in that way, serve all beings as representative of God. So these are the what is called main teachings that actually is very important for our age that we see, and few others I can just mention because some simple things that actually will work. He has said, repeat God's name. It is not new. In all religions there is this practice, and that should be continued in this age also. That means without repeating the name of God, it is very difficult to keep touch with God. You can go to a place of pilgrimage, that probably you stay there for 1 week. Maybe that is too much, so it is not possible. Then again come back to what is called worldly life. And nothing will be gained by going to a place of pilgrimage except that you have the satisfaction that you have done a pilgrimage. But what actually will work? So it has to remain with oneself forever. That it should not be forgotten. So God's name, very simple, and that we can, by repeating, actually can keep touch with God for always. So that is very important. Second thing is said, holy company. Holy company also in our scriptures, in Bhagavatam, it is full of holy company. So not only that, Lord Krishna also has said to Uddhava Gita, it is a part of the Bhagavatam, that yes, I love holy company most. Lord Krishna has said, company of the holy. So the reason is that it is a sort of refueling. You know, when car goes, we need to refuel. Nowadays we have to recharge also, EVs are there. So naturally, time to time, that way we can keep our spirituality going on by having holy company. So what is holy company? Holy company means that it's a place where the talk of God is going on. People are talking about God. And definitely there are spiritually advanced people, or the people who have the spiritual interest in their spiritual life. They already discuss these things. So if you love something, naturally, we'd like to talk about those things with people. And not only that, we practice them if we have the opportunity. So that type of circumstances are really very helpful. So wherever you find that there is a talk about God, or some person is talking about God, have that company. That is called holy company. And that is not always available. Suppose you have come from somewhere and you are posted in somewhere where there is no what is called congregation, etc. things. So Sri Ramakrishna said, so holy scriptures actually is as good as holy company. So naturally, holy scriptures nowadays are available very easily. That you don't have to buy a book. Internet will supply you all the books that you need for your holy company. That means you read them, you study them, and also probably you will be able to be inspired by them to what is called to do spiritual practices. So in that way, that is pertinent to this age. That is the point. In ancient times, scriptures were very difficult to get. That means you have to copy them and take them from one place to another, and in that way they may get lost. And in that way, it was very difficult to get a copy of scriptures. But nowadays, scriptures are everywhere. So in that way, he said, read sacred scriptures, and then pray with sincere heart. Sincerity, as I told you by the beginning, Sri Ramakrishna is epitome of sincerity that we see. And in that way, praying to God is also, we can do that probably always we cannot do, but definitely in the morning or in the evening or whenever there is a little time. In Islam, actually, they pray for 5 times. That means those who are sincere, they will pray 5 times in the day. That means it is fixed. For us, actually, at least 2 times. That means in the morning and in the evening. So we can do that systematically. Prayer for God. Then, of course, as I told you, serve others as God. That also he, what is called, told to be followed. That is the message. We can say these are the 5. There are many other things that he has said about what is called spirituality. But if you consider what will be the practice for ordinary people for doing spirituality in this age, these are the very highlighted thing: repeating the name of God, keeping the holy company, reading sacred scriptures, praying sincerely, and also serving others as God. That means serve a man. Serving a man is serving a God. In that way, actually, these things we do, or if we can incorporate in our life, probably it will take us to spiritual realization in this age. So these are the few things. This is not all the things that he has taught, as we can understand, but these are the very few simple things that are there for future Sri Ramakrishna lecture. And it doesn't mean that because in spirituality degenerates, what happens? That means there are certain persons who will say, if you follow me, then actually you will have this. Actually, Sri Ramakrishna did not say that. He didn't say that. You practice this spiritual path that I have found the truth, and you yourself will realize God. So that means what is called blind following of religion, actually, he did not lie, and also it is not necessary. That also we find in his teachings. Just serving people, what is called as God himself, that is a practice that anybody can do. And he has said, he's saying that, yes, if you do that, you realize God. It is not really wasting your time. But that is the reform, if you can, in the religion that he has said, and that is for the future, because in future, if you do, these are what is called we can perform these duties easily in this age. That is why I am saying that Sri Ramakrishna has left these what is called wealth of spiritual knowledge and simple practices for the humanity, and in that way, actually, we hope that another 500 years or 600 years, this religion will remain an enormous what is called benefit will come to the humanity. I hope and pray for that.
Sorry, Maharaj, for thank you for giving this talk. I heard the part of this lecture, and so I was really very excited when I heard the topic of the lecture, and it was Sri Ramakrishna and the future man. So Sri Ramakrishna faced, I think Sri Ramakrishna faced the challenge of science, because few very important things Maharaj mentioned very aptly, that the challenge of science, this was very important, that Sri Ramakrishna faced. Everywhere the religion means some kind of rituals, some kind of practice all these things. But Sri Ramakrishna first said, religion is realization. So unless you realize, unless you see God face to face, there is nothing of religion. Religion is neither practice nor belief, nothing else. It is seeing God face to face. So, realization. Religion is realization. And basing on this particular point, Swami Vivekananda argued that spirituality is science. If you go through the introduction of Raja Yoga of Swami Vivekananda, the first chapter especially, you can find that Swami Vivekananda argued and gave different points that religion is a science. So this was the great challenge Sri Ramakrishna faced. That is number one. Number two, when Sri Ramakrishna advent took place, at that time the situation, people were a little bit confused. So to take them out from this confusion, Sri Ramakrishna established a kind of new thought, new wave, that is a kind of all-comprehensive nature of thought. So that was extremely new, not only among the world religions, but also among the religions, Indian schools, different schools. It was not any external religion, but religions of different schools. There was tremendous orthodoxy in different schools, Indian thoughts. And the confusion between the monks and the householders. That was unique integration that Maharaj spoke very thoroughly on that the confusion of monk and householders, that distinction actually very well integrated by Sri Ramakrishna. So I always give reference of this. There was a book written by Swami Gambhiranandaji, the history of moth admission. So when I first read that book, in one place I found that Swamiji is saying that this is the Belur moth, this is a kind of nucleus, and surrounding Belur moth there will be the houses of householders. When I read this particular line, I was wonderstruck. I thought it is printing mistake, because the monks, they would stay in the Himalayas, in the forest, in the cave. But householders, in the midst of the householder, the monks will stay. How is that? So afterwards, I read and I found that it is a kind of householders are the message bearers. It is not, so the real idea will come out from the monks. But the householders, they would spread this message. They would change their life. Because if Sri Ramakrishna stayed only Dakshineshwar and his message would have not been spreaded all over the society, what would happen? Nothing. So message must be spreaded all over the people, and out of that they will get the benefit. That is the idea. So you saw that mother had the vision that Swami Vivekananda, Sri Ramakrishna came, mother was sitting Nilambar Babu's garden house at the bank of the Ganga, and suddenly he had a vision that Sri Ramakrishna, out of the blue, Sri Ramakrishna came running and went inside Ganga and melted there. And again, Swami Vivekananda followed Sri Ramakrishna. He came running and he also went to the Ganga, and then he started spreading the Ganga water by taking the name of Sri Ramakrishna. This vision Holy Mother saw, and she could understand that whole Ganga is saturated with Sri Ramakrishna, and Swami Vivekananda spreading the ideas and ideals of Sri Ramakrishna to the humanity. After that, Holy Mother could not touch or could not take bath in Ganga for long time, because it was so, the vision was so strong that it impressed mother's mind that in Ganga water Sri Ramakrishna is there. So this was the message. So Sri Ramakrishna for the future man means how long? That is the question. And Romarola very clearly explained that how long. Swami Vivekananda also explained that. How long? So this age, definitely, Sri Ramakrishna himself said, who sincerely seek God, they have to come here. No way. So that's the very important message. And Maharaj, I thank you, Maharaj, for delivering the talk on this extremely important topic. Extremely important topic. So it is a great talk, I would say. I offer my pranam to Maharaj. Let me chant and conclude. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkham apnuvat, sarvastarotu durgani, sarvo bhadrani pashyatu, sarva sadbuddhimapnotu, sarva sarvatranandatu, durjana sajjano bhuyat, sajjana shantimapnuvat, shantamucchete bandhebhyo, muktasyanyan vimochayet. May all be happy. May all enjoy good health. May all see happy events. May all be freed from miseries. May all be freed from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bondages. May the freed make others free. May the Supreme Spirit, the presiding deity of all sacred activities, be satisfied, for he being pleased, the whole universe feels satisfied. Oh, peace, peace, peace be unto you all. Few announcements. Next Sunday, we will have, as usual, lecture at 11 o'clock. And next Sunday evening, we will have Ramnam at our San Jose Center, because there is a Ramnavami. And Ramnavami actually is the foundation day of our San Jose Center. So in 1975, that that means our San Jose Center is 50 years. So there will be Ramnam this Sunday, and next Sunday we will have, but in April we will have two musical programs here. One is 11th April and another is another. Please see our bulletin. Right now I am unable to remember that. It is mainly the Karnataka classic. So anybody can join. So thank you very much. As usual, tea and coffee will be served at Sarvananda Hall, which will be followed by Prasad Lanchin. You all are welcome. Thank you. And I request all to please stay back for our annual general meeting, which will be starting at 3 p.m.